Australia's health is under the microscope as AUSactive's Fit for Office sees more than 35 MPs and senators swapping suits for sweatbands in a spirited 3-week fitness challenge. To tell us all about it, I'm joined now by CEO of AUSactive, Barrie Elvish, and Shadow Minister for Health and Aged Care, Senator Anne Ruston. Thank you both for joining me this afternoon. Barrie, I'll start with you. Tell us a little bit about this challenge and just how it works.
So the challenge, Christy, is for our elected members from Canberra to basically wear a myzone technology for a 3-week period and just see how many of them are actually fit for office. It's a very friendly competition. It's not really taken seriously. The point of it is actually to get them, I guess, demonstrating to the local community the importance of exercise and physical activity. Last year we had 26 politicians involved. This year we have 38, so a 50% increase. We're really pleased. Put that into some sort of context for you. The UK tried the same exercise and had 4 politicians. America tried the same thing and had 10. So on a population basis, we are literally killing it here in Australia.
Yeah, it is fantastic. Tell us, just how bad is Australia's obesity problem at the moment?
Well, where do you want to start? I mean, 2/3 of Australians are either overweight or obese, and it's getting worse. And this is primarily, I guess, a result of most of us not doing sufficient physical activity or exercise, meeting the World Health Organisation's guidelines of doing 150 odd minutes of gentle exercise over 5 times over 30 minutes per week. So we've really fallen behind. It's even worse with our younger generations, so our younger kids not exercising enough. That is creating a huge problem moving forward for this country, whereas they become older and spend more time on their screens, etc. The problem we have in this country, where 40% of diseases could be prevented by physical activity, is only going to get worse.
Now, Senator Anne Ruston, you're taking part in this challenge. Tell us, what's your activity of choice? Do you have a particular favourite?
Well, actually, all I try and do every day is walk to work, and I think it sets you up really well for the day. But I think the really important thing about the program that Barrie's put together is it's not necessarily about sports. So it's more about movement. It's all more about actual physical activity and allowing people to choose how they might actually go about being more active of a day. But I also would like to say, even though he said that the pollies don't take it very seriously, I can tell you there is nothing more competitive than a politician. And I can assure you over the next 3 weeks, everybody will be checking the leaderboard to make sure that somebody that they're competitive with, maybe somebody from the other side or even someone for their own side, we get pretty competitive by the end of these 3 weeks.
I can imagine. Who are your tips on to see take out the challenge?
Well, I have to say Andrea Lee, I'm sorry, Barrie. I was going to say Andrea Lee won it last year by a very small margin from Angus Taylor. But I was going to say anybody who gets out of bed at 4 o'clock in the morning with a torch on his head to go for a half marathon run before work is probably going to be setting themselves up for probably favouritism in this race. But Barrie might have a different view.
Absolutely. Barrie, who do you think?
We're going to handicap Andrew this year. It's not appropriate. And interesting, the visuals you had just then, Christy, are actually of Tammy Tyrrell, the senator from down in Tasmania. So she's demonstrating you can actually get on the swings and do things. You don't have to be running triathlons. It's just the whole thing is just to demonstrate the importance of movement, however it is that you want to do it.
Absolutely. And Senator, you would know the challenges faced by office workers and those in Parliament as well, just how challenging it is to stay active and how important it is for MPs to be staying active as well. Is it really important to be setting that example for the community?
No, well, I think every politician or anybody who's in a leadership role has a responsibility to set an example, and I think this is a perfect case in point here. But just making sure that, when you're walking around Parliament House, don't take the lift, take the stairs. Making sure that, when you power walk between your office and the chamber when you have to go to the chamber. So I think it's really, really important that we set an example. But it's great because the way Barrie set this particular program up, our officers get to be involved as well. So just about all of my staff are running around with wristbands on at the moment as well, because we want our office to be fit and healthy, as well as just making sure that I'm functioning as best I can of a day because I've had my exercise in the morning.
And it's great that you can encourage each other as well. Senator, in your role as well, you would see the strain that obesity can put on the health system. So surely encouraging people to stay active is far more cost effective in the long run, isn't it?
Look, absolutely. And whilst it is cost effective, I think the really important message that Barrie and this particular program are trying to send out is it's not just because it's cost effective on the federal budget, it's because it actually makes you feel better, not just physically, but mentally. And we know that, going for a 20-minute walk in the morning, power walk in the morning, will set you up, not just because you want to be fitter for the day, but your mental capacity is so much improved and you feel so much better. So we want to encourage Australians to understand the benefits and the value to them of living a healthier lifestyle. And it's not just exercise, but it's also diet. Put those two together and it's amazing how much better everybody's going to start feeling. And we want a healthy Australia, and this is a really good place to start.
Absolutely. Barrie, in terms of the cost side of things to Australians, how do you see it from your point of view? Of course, as I mentioned, that staying active is likely to be more cost effective than the strain that obesity and other illnesses would put on the health system.
Christy, if we look at the total health budget for this year, it's about $124 billion. Unfortunately, only $2 billion of that is directed towards preventive health. The government's own budget papers identify that for every dollar spent in preventive health, it has a return of $14. So the government acknowledges this. They also, in their preventive health strategy, talk about increasing the budget for preventive health from the current less than 2% to 5%. We're really keen to get the government to actually activate that policy, make it happen. We would love to see the government promote a public health campaign encouraging physical activity, exercise of all forms and modalities for, say, running for about a 5 year, because that'll give us time to actually change behaviours, and that'll give the bean counters time to actually see the budget savings start to flow through to the budget.
All right, that's all we've got time for this afternoon, but thank you both so much for joining me to talk about the challenge. It's a fantastic initiative. We look forward to following along, and Senator, good luck with the challenge. You'll have to keep us posted rather on where you're at.
Thanks, Rusty.
Thanks.